Zoe's roots roam depths many souls could never imagine. After the Great Infection, the Moki who remained tied to their home suffered. An entire culture of spotted cotton-tips were left burned by sunlight, scraped at paw by grains of sand, and left to starve. They refused to leave their home, stubbornly bound by loyalty to it. They would have rather died than moved beyond their borders. However, by the power of a graceful light named Zera, their biological genes changed. Their fur tanned, their paws no longer scraped against the sands, and the heat no longer bothered them. In fact, they enjoyed it. These Moki often bathed their bodies beneath layers of tan blankets, lounging in the warmth. Furthermore, the Vessel of Light granted them the name Dune Strider and promised them food and water. With the light of Aka, several cacti bearing fruit sprouted throughout the tainted region. The berries atop their green heads reflected small portions of the tree's light. Deep purple beauties with hints of blue and leaves of green provided all the nutrients any Moki could desire. They were called blessed droplets. Zera and Aka's great kindness moved all the Striders. They wished to show some means of gratitude. One of them, who became the lead of the new species, thought to carve amulets composed of wood they once grew. Every Moki, once of age, bore a circular amulet with ornate design. As for the Moki themselves, their appearance varied depending on age and gender. Males had extra layers of fur on their chests and back, forming a similar appearance to a triangular-ended scarf. While the females lacked this trait, they held other advantages. Each Dune Strider's tail ended in a similar design to the berries' tops. They help hide their appearance from predators, since most of them are colorblind. The females grow their tail fur much quicker than males, as well as the most defining trait of these Moki, their masks. Every Strider is born with similar faces to other subspecies, but once past their infancy, protruding masks of red fur rest upon their faces. The mask manifested in various forms, all pointed ends, but the formation of said ends varied. The only constant was an inability to form a mask with 6 points, all except for one, Ansar. No known records exist for how he obtained such special treatment, but he was special nonetheless. With the masks and tails, the Dune Striders often confused other species native to the desert, most notably the screech mice. These pesky rodents often mistake the Striders' tails for blessed droplets. Oftentimes, the Moki would require squishing their appendages to stave them off. Not even resting in the confines of the sands kept these nuisances away. They too wore masks of fur. The difference in color mattered not, for they were colorblind. However, scaring these tiny terrors was the last thing any Moki desired. Their name, Screech, carried volumes of headache and migraine. Just like the peak dwellers, these mighty mice could wail at a uniquely high pitch, scaring predators off nearly all the time. It is a wonder they haven't overpopulated the ecosystem. As a result, the desert Moki avoid provoking their timid tendencies. If these rodents scurry along the sands, why harbor traits that'll only attract unwanted attention? Well, these poor Striders harbored a darker history than most. Moki as a whole never sink their teeth into animals. To do so would be unthinkable. Unfortunately, desperation leads to action, and in time, those berries fell short. A great sandstorm coated the landscape. All the residents trembled in its wake, and all the fruit soon perished, leaving them no choice but to feast upon the mice of the land. Using their tails, they drew them in and cut them down with claws or knives. The once bustling species was trimmed by a third in a matter of weeks. So many Dune Striders persisted against all odds, and the amount of mouths to feed was too many. Half their population faded to nothing but dust in the wind. A grim reality, yet this brought equilibrium. The survivors stayed alive, and long enough for the berries to finally grow again. For a time, they knew peace again.
So the other day, I saw this mouse who screeched so loud he shook the cactus all around me. It was great. Do you think those rodents hurt their eardrums when screaming? I can't imagine shouting so loud would leave them unscathed. They must get tired of annoying
Does he ever shut
I'm
up?
scared, but it can't be worth it.
Whoa! Paws off my tail, rodent.
Taking those berries? I know they eat them, but maybe they want to preserve them.
Almost.
Maybe they're just
Got it!
Ow! Be more careful next time.
Well then, maybe you shouldn't go harvesting those berries without the grown-up Shrey.
Yeah, well, you could still be more careful.
That would make us part mouse. That's really cool. I've always wanted a mouse tail, but I've never seen a monkey without thicker tails. Do you ever wonder why our tails are shaped like the blessed droplet tops?
Come on, your tail's perfectly fine. It's much easier to groom without all these extra ends, Ansar.
But yours is so much cooler than mine.
So bad. Besides, they're rather cute.
Their wondrous time of recovery allowed them to share the wealth with a nearby settlement, but this proved to be a deathly mistake. Of all the creatures in Zoe, only the Dune Striders carried knowledge of how to properly harvest those blessed berries. They saw them as sacred, to only be eaten when hunger came. But the other town couldn't care less. All they knew was that they were thirsty. They demanded their secrets be spilled, no matter how vile their intent. The pleas of dried lips and unquenched thirst overruled any and all morality. The Striders refused and paid the ultimate price. In one night, they ravaged and splashed the sands with blood, stabbing each one with spears sharpened in a purple material. Some were even ripped with claws, leaving paws caked in blood. One in particular rose above the rest as their self-appointed leader. You all tried to make your mark on history, all clawed against every odd that stacked against you. Desert and all, snake, mouse, bird, no matter what struck at your flesh, you persisted. But what you fail to understand is that when you steal from me, from us, we will revolt. You see, the beautiful thing about history is that even when you make your mark on it, it won't always stick. And you are all nothing but stains on an otherwise perfect species. Only those of us, within the trees, the dirt, and the leaves, are worthy of breathing the same air. You think just because you heavily respect our great tree that you're deserving of anything? No. You're nothing but a disgrace to all of us. And that's why you have all been purged, blood for blood. Because of you, we remain starved of water. And now, you will pay the ultimate price. We are the right bloods, and you are nothing but filthy stains.